Welcome to episode number 87 of the podcast Marketing, Advertising, Public Relations, and Communications Professionals. We are recording live on Google Hangouts on air on March 14, 2015. My name is David Erickson. I'm your co-host. You can find me at D. Erickson on Twitter. I am the VP of Online Marketing for Karwoski & Courage, Minneapolis public relations firm. I'm here with my co-host, B.L. Ochman. You can find B.L. at What's Next on Twitter. She is the CEO of Maximum-Plus.com. Of course, she writes for Ad Age as well. You can find the show online at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com. We're on Twitter at BS Media Show. Subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss any of these podcasts. They're weekly podcasts, so you can subscribe to the newsletter at BeyondSocialMediaShow.com/newsletter. You get exclusive content as well. We have a format we follow every week where we talk about the worst stories that happened during the past week. We follow that up with the best stories that happened. We talk about some shiny new stuff that we're enamored with, and we wrap it up with some marketing statistics that you'll want to know. BL always has the honors to start it off with the worst thing that happened last week. BL, what was it?
Well, it was pretty horrible, and I hate to start the show on such a downer, but there's a video of a girl being beaten up, a 15-year-old girl being beaten up by a gang at a McDonald's in New York City, and the horrible part about it is that it went viral on YouTube, and that the people standing in the McDonald's, what they did instead of calling for help is they took out their phone and recorded the video and egged on the girl the people who were beating up the girl, a few of whom have been arrested as of today. But the sad part is it's not the first time a video like this has gone viral, and there is apparently a site for videos of girls beating up girls, and this is just disgusting. And this has happened before with a video of a mentally ill man, an autistic boy, and all these girl fights. And this is sick. This is just sick.
It absolutely is. And the video went on for like 3 or 4 minutes or something, and nobody stepped in until the poor girl was on the ground and being kicked. I mean, it's
horrible. And somebody is heard saying she's dead, and they still didn't call 911. There's finally somebody at McDonald's who works there made a phone call. But so on a lighter note, the most irrelevant man in America, Rudy Giuliani, says that it's Obama's fault, and that Obama should be more like Bill Cosby. And he blames the McDonald's fight and the Ferguson cop shootings on the president. So, of course, this was commented on Twitter, and my favorite one was her name is Callie Joy Gray, and she said, "I listened to the whole Rudy Giuliani interview for you because I love you and I hate myself. You're welcome." And then somebody else said, "Thank you very much. I would have had to chew my own ears off."
Rudy Giuliani is going nowhere. He's just just trying to get himself in the news and whatever.
I mean, come on, but this is ridiculous.
So,
we'll get to happier stuff soon.
This is lighter, worst stuff. So we lighten it up as we transition into the best. The most beloved generation in the history of the United States is not all that, apparently. American millennials are among the least skilled. This is from a Fortune article by Ann Fisher. She reports on a Princeton-based educational testing service researchers who have a program for the International Assessment of Adult Competencies test. It's designed to measure the job skills of adults aged 16 to 65 in 23 countries, so it's a broad-based study. And when they analyze by age group and country, U.S. millennials fall short when it comes to skills employers want most. Among those, literacy, including the ability to follow simple instructions, practical math, and problem-solving in technology-rich environments. That's in quotes. Problem-solving in technology-rich environments.
The ones we all work in?
Exactly. They lag far behind their overseas peers by every measure. They even score lower than other age groups of Americans. U.S. millennials rank dead last in the ability to apply basic math to everyday situations, and last in making smart use of technology. So, think twice about putting your intern on the social media channels that you want. It didn't go into why that is. I suspect it's that millennials, the most beloved generation, they're brought up in groups where they didn't necessarily, they did a lot of group activities, so they didn't necessarily learn individual skills in those environments, and their parents do a lot of stuff for them. So
the helicopter parent generation of
yeah.
boomers. Yeah, well, you see that. You just see that all the time. My favorite way of recognizing this was in New York Magazine quite a while ago, but it was a boomer woman, pushing a teenager in a stroller, and the caption said, "Oh my God, can he walk?" And she said, "Yes, he can, but thank God he doesn't have to." So, if you don't have any more bad news, let's move to the happier side of things. Well, this is very interesting, actually. The music industry has moved to universally releasing all new music on Friday, and there used to be different dates when it was done in Europe and the US. They're hoping that they're going to cut the rate of piracy, that if there's less time in between when you can download your favorite artist's new album in the US and when people in other countries can do it, that maybe there'll be less piracy. And the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, IFPI, says that they hope that this will benefit artists who want to harness the value of social media to promote their music. And I think that's a very interesting development, and I'm not sure what the outcome of it will be, but the source was Brian Logan in Business Insider, and I thought his analysis was quite interesting as well.
I don't quite understand how it would cut down on piracy, but having one day where you can expect that new music is going to come out, that's sort of building the habit of people looking for new music. On the one hand, I can see how that's really beneficial. On the other hand, maybe it's just a glut of new stuff that it's hard to find the new stuff because there's so much coming out on one day. I don't know.
It remains to be seen, but then you have to look at what Beyonce did with her new album, which was to just release it unannounced, and she announced it on Twitter, and not to have any hype leading up to it, for just to be there, and then to depend on social media to spread the news. So what this is doing is putting enormous pressure on artists to learn how to use social media. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But and you want to tell us one of yours, Dave?
Sure. So going from the entertainment vein, movie marketing, Fox is promoting a new business with Vince Vaughn new movie with Vince Vaughn called Unfinished Business. And it's in a clever way that they're doing it. This is from an Adweek article by Alfred Mascaroni. And so Unfinished Business, the premise of the movie is it's a comedy, it's a routine business. Business goes wildly off the rails. Sounds like a Vince Vaughn movie, right? So the way that they're promoting it is they're teaming up with iStock Photos and photoshopping a set of stock photos that feature the stars of the movie. So there's Vince Vaughn, Tom Wilkinson, Dave Franco in these stock photos that you see everywhere. They're obviously stock photos, but it's these celebrities that are in it. So you can download the stock photos for free at iStock Photo, and that's just a really clever way of marketing it.
And a big leap for native advertising, right? That's cool.
Yeah.
Dave, what happened to your hand?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought I saw a splint on your hand. I'm wearing one, so I thought we were both in the. So I got a very interesting story this week from about animal adoption, and it's a game that teaches kids how much is really involved in owning a pet. And the game is called Kuboo Rescue Adoption. It's a video game. They teamed up with the Arizona Humane Society to create this game, and it's a video game, and you go there and you pick out the kind of pet you might want, and then it asks all these questions, what are you going to name it, and then how many times a day you're going to be able to walk it, and what are you going to feed it, and it goes on and on to make it very clear the things that you have to do to care for an animal, which as a longtime dog owner, I can tell you is a lot. And, the goal is to create responsible pet ownership. And and to make kids understand that this is a commitment that goes on for hopefully a very long time. But it's done in such a sweet way. I think that what they've done is really commendable, and I hope there'll be more things like that.
It's very clever, and anything that can really set it in kids' minds exactly what's involved in owning a pet is a good thing. So.
Well, I can tell you when I was out walking Benny in the pouring rain this morning that, you don't ever say, well, sorry, it's raining, you can't go out. Sorry, it's snowing. Nope, middle of the night, tough. You got to wait. You don't do that. So you might as well learn that before. So just a little housekeeping. We're here today at 11 only. Next week we'll be back to our regular 12:30. And I had started Comment Tracker hoping to be able to interact with you all, but persnicketily enough, it stopped working. And so I'm sorry. We'll come back and answer questions later. Sorry. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, well, I mean, speaking of comments, this is a quick one. Facebook has opened up their data Firehose to select advertisers. So basically, you hear of the Twitter Firehose. Facebook has one as well, and they've got even more data because they've got a huge social graph on everything that they collect on people. This is from a Mashable article by Rex Antis. So they're offering this data to select advertisers through a topic data tool that they've developed in partnership with DataSift. And it's basically a social insight and listening tool. So I think it's probably going to end up being a competitor to a lot of those social listening tools. But it's all the data from Facebook. So most of the social listening tools that get Facebook data, it's a limited amount. And this is probably something that's going to roll out to all Facebook users eventually. So more insight directly from the source is always a good thing.
An absolute end of privacy. I mean, just forget about it. If you're worried about privacy, you probably shouldn't be online, I mean, that plus the news that your webcam is watching you all the time. And
well, they do. Let me hasten to add that they said this is stripped of personally identifiable information. It's an aggregate. Advertisers won't have access to individuals' data, but
right now they won't.
that privacy is dead.
Yeah, that bit about there were actually suggestions this week that you cover your webcam when you're not actually broadcasting because you're being watched. So don't pick your nose when you're in front of your computer. That's my advice.
Here's a fun one too. So we're into entertainment this week. Apparently, Netflix is doing more native advertising. They really know how to do it right. They do partnerships. They've done it with Wired, a native ad with Wired. They did a native ad with New York Times, and now they're doing one with The Atlantic to promote the current season of House of Cards. This is from an Ad Age article by Michael Sebastian, and so they're paying The Atlantic for a native ad. It's a six-figure deal. It's a lengthy reported article with interactive charts and videos, and it's exploring the dynamic between modern presidents and their wives. So it goes from Bush to from Nixon basically to Obama, and of course they include Francis and Claire Underwood among those that
their interaction is something else. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, native advertising. So this article also reports, interestingly, that native advertising is a really important part of The Atlantic's revenue mix now. It's fueled a 31% increase in ad sales last year. Their Rethink is the name of their native ad department. They have 15 full-time staffers. They've worked on about 100 custom campaigns last year for brands like Chevron, Allstate, Lincoln, Rolex, and they plan to increase their staff by 50% this year. So when you do it right, I think native advertising works, and it's a good model for publishers who are scrambling to find to replace their ad dollars. But it has to be transparent, and Netflix knows that, so they're clearly doing it right.
Netflix is great at promotion, and you're absolutely right. Nobody minds advertising that's clever. Nobody minds advertising that's contextual, and But apropos that, I came across a an infographic about why people unfollow brands in social media. That was, the reporter was Kimberly Morrison. It was an ad week, and basically the bottom line, it was a survey of 900 social media users to find out why they unfollow brands and what behaviors companies should avoid. Well, this is not a big surprise. People unfollow brands that are boring and repetitive and that post that sort of stuff more than 6 times a day. There's no surprise there, except perhaps for brands.
Well, it's moving from the mindset of telling people what we want them to know rather than finding out what people want to know and telling them that, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, you just can't keep doing that and expect that people are going to follow you. I mean, it's just that simple. So I came across something that I just love so much. Yesterday was my birthday, Friday the 13th, and I get online. Thank you. I get online and I go to my homepage, which is Google, and there's the Google cartoon, which changes every day. It's a picture of birthday cake and cupcakes with candles in it. So I mouse over it, thinking, like, who are they celebrating? It says, "Happy birthday, B.L. Lockman." So I click on it, and it goes right to my Google Plus profile. I thought that was so cool. I've never seen that before. I guess it's for Google Plus users.
Sure. Yeah.
Isn't that fun?
Yeah. Very smart.
Really smart. I mean, you know, look, they know everything about us. They might as well have fun with it. So John McDermott in Digiday wrote about Snapchat, who is going to start broadcasting live sports. And their partnership starts with the Final Four, and they're going to expand to other NCAA sporting events. They're looking to sell brand sponsorship for these stories, and it just seems as if various platforms are still really trying hard to find their, you know, their space that they can own, and it must be really hard, but they're close to finalizing sponsorship deals, and we'll start seeing this stuff soon.
Yeah, well, that's maybe it gives me another reason to take a second look at Snapchat. I've always looked at Snapchat as a personal communications tool and not really a marketing vehicle, except for maybe consumer marketing stuff. But they're trying so, and they've got some exclusive live content. I could look at that.
It is. It's fascinating, actually. So you have one to tell us about that's absolutely great. I love this.
Yeah, well, this is similar to that, basically. So this is Meerkat. So Meerkat was the huge thing 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, or whatever. It just blew up on Twitter. This is from a story, a Verge story by Casey Newton. So Meerkat, if you don't know, is a new app, and it's a live streaming video on Twitter. It's Twitter's latest obsession, basically. You log into your Twitter account. You can live stream from your Twitter account on your phone video immediately, or you can schedule it. The video is geotagged, so you know where where it was recorded from. It taps into your social graph to notify when your followers go live. You can watch the live stream and comment. People can watch the live stream and comment on Twitter simultaneously. The video is recorded to your phone, but it's not archived online. It's become so popular that Twitter broke it on the eve of South by Southwest. So Twitter decided to remove some of the social graph features, such as notifications, which will make it that much harder for Meerkat to acquire users. And why did Twitter break it? Well, Twitter just bought a Meerkat competitor called Periscope, which hasn't yet launched live, but obviously that's why they did it. And it just goes to show, I mean, the popularity of Meerkat, the fact that Twitter bought Periscope, live streaming video is coming into its own. So went from Justin TV back in the day to Ustream, Google Hangouts on Air, Amazon buys Twitch TV live streaming thing. The Snapchat has got live streaming video, person to person, basically. Meerkat, Periscope, this whole thing, it just seems like it's coming into its own and becoming mainstream.
And the thing about Meerkat is that it works, you know, or it did. I mean, they broke it, you know. That's unfortunate, really. So I think that that brings us to projects, and you have one to report.
Yeah, real quick. I just wrote a blog post on the SEO value of links from media organizations. So not all links are created equal, and one of the aspects of search visibility and search optimization is the acquiring of links from other sites. So it goes into detail about why you want to get the links from media organizations. So we'll put a link of that in the show notes.
You want them to link to you, or you want to link to them?
You want them to link to you. They are authorities, and it goes into reasons why Google looks at media organizations as an authority site.
Why would that be news? I'm sorry. Why did the study consider that to be news? Wouldn't you always have wanted a news organization to link to you?
Well, more than other types of sites. So the post goes into why they are authority versus my blog or versus whatever, and how that type of stuff helps you, as well as traditional PR activities can help in search visibility. So anyway.
Okay, I have to take a good look at that study. So I think that, you know, I want to just say that we're trying really hard to keep the show shorter, and so we will include stuff that we did not cover and stuff that we want to share with you, like moments of joy and just things that made us stop and take a second look in our newsletter, which you can subscribe to at beyondsocialmediashow.com/newsletter. You'll get that every Sunday from us, and we hope that you'll take a look at it, because we're trying to make it different than the other things that show up in your mailbox. And so that brings us to the end, right? Is there anything else you wanted to share, Dave?
That's all I've got. Let's wrap it up with the daily numbers.
Okay.
All right, so we have planned increased spending on marketing technologies. This is from eConsultancy, and this is digital marketing technologies in which client-side marketers worldwide plan to increase their investment this year in 2015. Top amongst those, 50% of the respondents said A/B testing and multivariate testing. So we're coming into our own. I think a lot of people don't do testing of their messaging, don't do testing of their subject lines, don't do testing of their headlines and stuff, but this seems to indicate that people are putting more resources behind actually learning what works and what doesn't by doing those types of testing. So that's the thing that I found most interesting in this study. People are also spending on content or customer relationship marketing management systems, marketing analytics at 42%, conversion optimization tools, again, that goes to the A/B testing thing, 39%. So the list goes on, but I thought that it was striking that A/B testing was at 50%.
You could have put that in good news this week, you know?
Yep.
That is good news. So that brings us to the end of episode 87 of the Beyond Social Media Show. Thank you so much for watching. And let us know what you think. Please leave a review at beyondsocialmediashow.com/love. You'll find David Erickson on Twitter. He's at @DErickson. His blog is estrategyblog.com, and he writes at creativepr.com/blog. I'm BL Lockman. You'll find me on Twitter. I am at What's Next. My blog is what'snextblog.com. I also write Paw Fun blog about animals, and my company is maximum-plus.com for all things Google Plus and videos. And the show online, beyondsocialmediashow.com. On Twitter, we're at BS Media Show. And again, the newsletter is beyondsocialmediashow.com/newsletter. And we will include some interesting stuff that we didn't have time to do here. And we will be back next week. We will see you at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, and we will bring you the best and the worst in digital communications this week. Thanks for watching.